Jai Shri Ram. By the grace of Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Sri Jagannath, Lord Sri Ram, we will start the story of Rāmāyaṇa, chapter 2, the Wrath of Rama. Dasaratha, his desire fulfilled, dwelt happily in Ajodhya, awaiting the birth of his sons. The Brahmins and the king who had assembled for the sacrifice left for their various abodes, sent on their way with kind words and gifts by the emperor. For season passed, then at a time when favorable stars were visible in the heavens, Kausalya gave birth to a son named Rama. Though Rama was the lord of the creation, Kausalya saw him simply as her own dear child. She held him tight to her bosom. Overwhelmed with motherly affection and unable to recognize his divinity, coming out of the delivery room, Kausalya shone brilliantly with that baby boy, who had eyes like lotus petals. Next, a son named Bharata was born from Kaikeyi, and from Sumitra, who had received two portions of ambrosia, were born twin sons, Lakshmana and Shatrugna. All three boys resembled celestial, and they seemed to blaze with their splendors. In the heaven, Gandharva's heavenly musician began to sing melodiously while bees of Apsara danced. Cattle drums resounded in the sky, and a showering of flowers fell upon the earth. In Ajodhya, the streets quickly becomes crowded with rejoicing citizens. Minstrels, bards, and chanters of sacred hymns gather in every quarter, glorifying the birth of Rama and his brothers. The city decorated all over with colorful flags and garlands looked beautiful. King Dasaratha, overwhelmed with happiness, gave a large heap of shining jewels to the Brahmins and arranged for a feast to distribute it to his entire kingdom. Vaishishta joyfully performed the name giving ceremony and all other rites of passage for the brother. Of all the brothers, Ram was especially glorious. His attractive body had the hue of a celestial emerald, dressed in the finest silk and adorned with golden ornaments. He captured the mind of all who saw him. Rama was devoted to his father's service. He took delight in the science of archery and quickly mastered the art of horseback and elephant riding, as well as the various methods of driving a chariot. Lakshmana was deeply attached to his elder brother Ram from his infancy. He was like a second self to Ram, and he pleased him in every way. Unless Lakshmana was present, Rama would neither sleep nor eat. Whenever Rama went out to the forest to hunt, Lakshmana would follow at his heels, guiding him on all sides. Shatrugna was just a deer to Bharata, and these two brothers were also inseparable. Dasharatha felt as pleased with his four sons as Brahma feels with the four gods presiding over the four quarters of the universe. These princes were tigers among men, yet they were modest, wise, far-sighted, and glorious in every way. They were attached to their studies and soon become well versed in all aspects of a kingship. As the prince's studies near completion, the king began to think about their marriages. One day, while lost in such thoughts, the powerful mystic Vishwamitra arrived at his palace. The sage instructed the gatekeepers, tell the king that Vishwamitra, the son of Ga- Gandhi, is at his door. Upon seeing the lustrous Rishi, the gatekeepers were struck with awe. They ran to Dasaratha quarters to inform him. Dasaratha quickly went with his minister to greet the sage, even as Indra might greet Brahma. As soon as he saw Vishwamitra standing at his door, the king respectfully brought him in, sat him down, and personally washed his feet. Standing with folded palms before the sage, Dasaratha was thrilled with joy as he spoke. I consider your arrival here to be as welcome as the often of a celestial nature in one own hands. As rainfall arrive in a desert, as the birth of a child to a childless couple, or as the recovery of a lost treasures. What can I do for you today? Dasharatha was aware of Vishwamitra glory. The sage was famous all over the world for his performance of different austerities and his virtuous behaviors. He was also well known for his almost limitless powers. Once, by his own ascetic power, he had created an entire constellation of planets which still shone in the southern sky. The king felt honored to see him and wondered what had brought him to Ajodhya. Sitting at Vishwamitra's feet, Dasharatha continued to address him. You are worthy of my service in every way, and it is by great good fortune that you have called at my door. My night had ended in a splendid sunrise as I see here before me the best of the Brahmana sages. Simply by seeing you, I have received a blessing equal to the result of visiting every place of a pilgrimage. With you, I wish now to perform some pleasing work for you, O noble sage, and you may consider it already completed. As a guest, you are as good as God to me, and I shall not hesitate to do anything for your desire. Addressing in such a delightful way, Vishwamitra felt joy as he replied to Dasaratha. Your speech had pleased to me in every way, O tiger amongst the kings. You are a descendant from proud ancestry and have been instructed by the godlike sage Vaishishta. Make a firm resolve to satisfy my desire and prove true to your promise. O virtuous one. Vishwamitra had worked for 3 days without eating or sleeping, his mind fixed on his purpose. His body was lean and powerful, golden color and covered by a black deer skin. He held in his hands a staff and a water pot, his only possessions. He he had to come to ask something from the Dasaratha which he knew would be hard for the king to grant. The sage gazed steadfastly into Dasharatha's eyes as he spoke. I stand here this very day consecrated for a sacrifice. However, two powerful Rakshasas demons named Maricha and Subahu constantly impede in its performance. These demons were avowed enemies of both gods and humans. They are capable of ranging the sky and assuming any forms they like. Every time my sacrifice is close to completion, these Rakshas appears overhead and drop down volume of flesh and blood, ruining it entirely. That what in my attempt. I have left that sacrifice feeling dispirited, having accomplished nothing other than exhaustion. Dasharatha listened instantly as the sage spoke. He knew that Vishwamitra would not have come to him, empire of the earth, unless there was some difficult task at hand. The Rakshasas were dangerous beings who hated sages. The king knew they had been increasingly disruptive, and this was now confirmed by Vishwamitra. Although capable of destroying those Rakshas with a course, O king, I will not do so. As a condition of my sacrifice is that I do not give way to anger. My mind must remain steady under control. Nor is it the sacred duty of a Brahman to attack any enemy. This is always the duty of a king and a warriors. Please therefore give to me your eldest and most heroic son Rama. Although a youth, Rama is possessed a true prowess and is more than a match of any Rakshasa. The king's mouth fell open. He gazed in horror at Vishwamitra. Was he serious? Saint Rama? The prince was just a boy. He had never seen action on the battlefield. Of course, there was no doubting his bravery and prowess. But how could he face the Rakshasas? Those vicious beings knew every kind of sorcery. They could contend with even the gods. What chance would a youth like Rama stand against them? Seeing the king's reaction, Vishwamitra tried to reassure him. You need entertain no fear of Rama's account. Accompanied by me, he will possess safely to the sacrificial arena. Immediately upon encountering those Rakshasa who are overly proud of their strength, I am sure he will quickly dispatch them. Therefore, release Rama and let him remain with me for a period of but 10 days. Do not allow your parental affection to prevail. I shall confer upon Ram booms by which he will attain fame in all over the world. I will then return him unharmed. O king, you should not have any doubt. Vishwamitra felt silent. He was aware Rama's true identity. By his meditation, the sage could see in his heart of a supreme lord, and he knew Rama to be that same person. Vishwamitra understood that the inhalation of the demons were a part of Rama's plan on earth. The sage were acting only as an instrument of Lord's desire. Dasharatha stood mortified, ob- oblivious to the divinity of his young son, overpowered by grief at the prospect of losing his young son Rama. Trembling all over, the king felt pain at heart and fell unconsciously to the ground, remaining senseless of some time. The Dasaratha families come around and said to the sage, "My lotus eyes son is less than 16 years old. How then he can fight with the Rakshasas? I myself, marching at the head of hundreds of thousands of highly trained soldiers, shall personally come to wage a war on the demons. Do not take Ram." Dasarathas shout separately to change Vishwamitra minds. For as long as he his breathed, he said he would stand with bow in hand and beat back any Rakshasas who come to attack Vishwamitra's sacrifice. The sage need have no doubt. Dasaratha wailed piteously. The Rakshasas are given to treacherous fighting. The inexperienced Ram is still no full trained. He is yet unable to estimate the strength or weakness of the enemy, nor he nor is he familiar with the use of celestial weapons necessary for dispatching such powerful enemies as Rakshasas. Dasaratha knelt before the sage. He looked up at him with tears in his eyes. Seeing Vishwamitra resolute expression, he took hold of his feet and implored him to relent. He tried to think of a life without Rama. It was unimaginable. After such a long time and so much prayer, he had finally obtained a son worthy to succeed him. And such a son. It seems that within each passing day, Rama endeared himself more to his elder with his virtuous behavior. Now he was just attaining maturity and could soon be installed as the prince regent. regent. How could he lose Rama now? He continued his PL. Separated from Rama, I doubt I shall survive for even an hour. Please do not take him, or if you really must, then please also allow me to go with him. Taking my entire army, I shall station myself on the battlefield and ward off the demons. Tell me all that you know about those Rakshas, O sage, and I shall make every preparation. Vishwamitra replied, "There is a Rakshasa named Ravana, to whom Brahma has granted a boon of invulnerability, possessed of extraordinary strength and followed by numerous other Rakshasas. He has opposed both heaven and earth to the utmost degree. When this mighty demons cannot himself be bothered to assail the sacrifice of the sage, he sent out his two lieutenants, Maricha and Subahu. Hearing Raman's name, the king becomes alarmed. He stood upon suddenly, even the gods and Gandharvas united with the entire heavenly host cannot defeat the demon. How then shall I, a merry mortal, stand before him? What then of Rama? Brahma had made Ravana unsellable. I, with all my troops, will proved incapable of overcoming Ravana, who deprives even the most powerful fighter of their powerless and on the battlefield. battlefield. The king had heard numerous accounts of Ravana's exploits. Many years ago, the demons had slain Anaraya, his ancestors. The demon had defeated the god and had even once fought and overcome the mighty Yamaraj to confront him in battle was more or less suicide. The king clasped in hands together. How can I permit my gentle son go to out? Under no circumstances can I allow Rama to risk his life against Ravana. Rather, I shall go out myself with my army to protect your sacrifice, even if it means my death. Rama shall remain here. Hearing Dasaratha faltering speech, Vishwamitra blushed up with anger. Did Dasaratha have no faith with him? How dare, how dare his refuse his request? King and warriors must always respect and obey Brahmins. For this was the sacred law, and Dasaratha had already promised to satisfy him. The sage eye opened wide with fury as he spoke. After giving your Solomon pleased to fulfill my desire, you may decline. You now decline. This refusal shame your loyal lineage and will bringing ruin to your race. If you care not about the infamy, then I shall return the way I came. With your promise falsified, you may remain peacefully amongst your relatives. Seeing Vishwamitra seized with fury, the gods themselves become fearful and the earth shook. The wise Vasishtha, perceiving the imminent danger from Vishwamitra course, spoke to the king, born in the line of the sun god. You are like a virtuous personified. It doesn't befit you to abandon righteousness. You always remain firm in your bow and are famed as a being fixed in truth. Summon strength from within yourself now. If you fail to redeem your promise, you will lose all the merits that had assured to you from the performance of your acts. Send Rama with Vishwamitra. Whether or not Ram has mastered archery is of no consciousness, as he will protect by the sage. By sister, who also knew Rama's divine plan, looked at the agonized king. He told him how Vishwamitra had inconceivable power and great learning formerly while ruling over a kingdom. He had received from a receiver the knowledge of every celestial open. He would undoubtedly give this knowledge to Ram, although quite able to punish the Rakshasas himself. Vishwamitra had asked for Ram only to do good to the prince. Dasaratha still appeared doubtful. His hand shook as he folded them, imploring Vishwamitra to relent. Tears streamed from his eyes. Vishwamitra then took the king aside and spoke in confidence. He told him Rama's identity. He also said that the arrival of Vishwamitra had been arranged by providence for the good of the world. The king should therefore have no fear in sending Ram with the sage. Dasaratha was astonished to him. Rama with Rama was his beloved child in need of protection. How could he possibly be the Supreme Lord? Dasaratha looked at Vaishishta, who stood silently gazing into the king's eyes. The sage could not possibly tell a lie, accepting the words of the protector and feeling somewhat reassured. Dasaratha agreed to send his son to Vishwamitra, who permitted the king to send Lakshmana as well. For Dasaratha knew that Lakshmana would never let Ram go out alone for a fight. Dasaratha was personally called for his two sons and embraced them both. As his tearful wives watched, the king committed the boys to Vishwamitra care. Render service to the sage as you would myself. My dear sons, I shall pray for your safe return. Go now with my blessing. They, as they part of the city's gate, Vaishishta uttered benedictory humans and prayers. Flowers rained from the skies, loud blast of a conch and a beating of a beating of cattle drums resounded everywhere. Led by the smiling Vishwamitra, Rama and Lakshmana went out from the kingdom, watched by their parents and the citizens until they disappeared into the distance. So this is how the birth of Rama topic, and how Vishwamitra take Rama to fight with the demons. Jai Jagannath, Jai Sri Krishna, Jai Sri Ram.